thanks everyone for joining, and let's kind of start the journey of understanding about this topic, and also we'll see the demo as well. I'll try to squeeze in as much as possible to keep up the time, but yeah, I'll try to give you the value that you are here for. Okay, so a little bit about me, and I'm a technology leader by profession, and by passion I do some of these things like blogging, speaking, and all those stuff. Some of my interest, and there are some details about my Twitter and YouTube channel as well. Moving on, this is what we are going to talk about. We'll first understand that what this logic app fuss is all about, and why at all we needed this, and there are some details around that about other technologies which are similar to this, called Power Automate. Earlier the name was something else, Microsoft Flow. How it is different, or what are different use cases around that, and then we can have a quick demo about how we can build some kind of sentiment analysis using Power, this logic app. Okay, and then of course we'll have some time for Q&A as well. Okay, so let's begin. A logic app, basically it is a cloud service that comes with Azure, and some of you might have heard about managing workflow services before cloud world, like for example, somebody might have used about BitTalk, and there's some other kind of services as well, EDI and few others, where we can literally kind of automate our workflows. So Logic App is one of those offering coming from cloud services. That is kind of a SaaS kind of model where you literally don't need to install anything as such. You can pretty much work in cloud, or we can say Azure in this case, and you can automate workflows, and you're good. So this will help you to quickly spin some kind of automation, workflow automation, or you want to automate your business process. All those stuff you can pretty much use with Logic Apps. So it gives you capability around both. It will give you the inbuilt controls where you can maybe do kind of you can move controls here and there. You will find some bunch of default control to begin with, which we can use it. And at the same time, if you have any complex custom requirements, you can always have the custom workflow as well. If it is not suiting, if the given workflows or given controls are not suiting your requirements, you can also create a new, your one of your own, right? So there is a flexibility also comes with Logic App. Okay, moving on. So think about that. Okay, fine, we understood what is Logic App, but exactly where we can use it, right? So before even we'll talk about that, let's understand how it is different from its kind of, you can say, sibling, peer, brother, or whatever, right? So you can say maybe younger brother, Power Automate, because it has a little less features. So it is kind of giving contrast that how you can relate these two technology that is out there at this point, and you can kind of make sense out of it that okay, on certain use cases you should be using Logic Apps versus you're good with Power Automate, right? So coming to the users, Logic Apps is meant for basically developers who are techies, and also who basically professional integrators, right? Because they're going to basically integrate a couple of or bunch of them, bunch of the workflows, right? So people who are hardcore techies, for them Logic App is place to go. On the other side, people who are not that kind of techies, but they are like they know overview of that, maybe business users. For them, Power Automate is good because it doesn't require a lot of coding. The minimum amount of awareness about system is good enough for that. Coming to the scenarios, so Logic App is meant for advanced integrations because it supports both default as well as custom integrators. At the same on the other side, Power Automate is not meant for the advanced integration. It's meant for the more of a simpler integrations, though you can also make it a bit complex, but by default the it won't give you all those custom features. So basically self-service kind of model. Some of you might have used Power BI. So it is on similar line where it is a capability being given to the business users who may not be too much well versed with tech. They can also do their job. So that is what scenario looks like at high level. Coming to the design, in Logic App, of course, we get all kind of capabilities. We can play or we can create workflows in browser. At the same time, we can also do that on our, familiar tools like VS Code and VS Studio as well. Okay. In Power Automate, it's not the case because, as you heard, that it is not meant for, hardcode techies. So, it doesn't make sense that we allow that feature. So, basically, business users, who are good with browsers. So for them, it is just supported in browser. Okay. Same goes with ALM, application lifecycle management, where in Logic App you have pretty much you can integrate Azure DevOps and all those capability that comes along with, right? You can have other kind of source control as well. In Power Automate, basically it is not the case because it is not a code doesn't come by default. So basically it is first you can try non-production environment, and once you're good, you can promote it to production. So there is no concept of, I would say, CI/CD or DevOps here in the case of Power Automate. Coming to the admin, so because Logic App comes with a lot of control here, so you also get different capabilities like managing source code because it is in cloud. This Power Automate comes as part of the Office offering, so you're not talking about Azure as such, but yeah, it is offering as part of Microsoft. Coming to security, so since Logic Apps is offering from Azure, so it provides a lot of security feature that comes by default with Azure. It could be audit, log, etc., Defender, etc. At the same time, Power Automate, it is coming from Office kind of offering. So it does have kind of enterprise security and all, but it is not that dev or tech kind of capability. So it has a limited logging capabilities. Okay, so it was a kind of quick, you can say, contrasting or quick awareness about similar looking like technologies. Because sometimes we get confused that hey, which one to use when, right? So it's a classic question. So nowadays, since more and more tech is coming, so it's very important that we understand the nuance and details of it, that on certain scenario, which one is meant for, right? Sometimes we can use either or, but every tech is comes with a kind of objective or the primary use case that is very important. One has to well versed with, because that is what makes you come up with a good design of and good implementation. Okay. Now let's talk about use case a little bit. So you might have figured out that hey, it is for automatic workflows. So you can think about something similar example, like you want to have some kind of event-driven kind of model here. Like you want to schedule something that hey, if something happens, do something, right? For example, you're reading some file or some mail came and you want to do some action on that. So you can think about some of those capabilities. One that could be that if some file is uploaded in server, you want to send a notification, right? It's pretty common workflow so that people know that hey, it's done. So you can have that. Okay, once file is done, you can just have a mail task configured on our Logic App, so it will do the job. You don't need to do additionally. You can automate that workflow. Okay. Again, few other use cases could be that you want to route and process different orders. It could be that okay, whether it's like it will be done in on-prem or cloud, so you can have kind of a decision-making workflow as well. A few other use cases you can read through here, and it's more on that where exactly you need to automate certain workflows, and if you want to provide any notification to the end user customer, so you can leverage this feature. Okay. Okay, now it's demo time. So jumping to the demo, I hope folks attending this meeting or this session, they know the basics of it. So I'll not be covering about basics, super basics of how what is Azure and how the dashboard looks like. I'll jump into the directly into. I'll assume that people might have seen this kind of dashboard, and then how we can navigate around it, right? So I'll jump into uh, quickly in the demo. So that in the interest of time, I got something created. So I'll kind of explain that, and I'll also run that, and so that you guys understand how we can do that. It's pretty easy, I would say. Microsoft, one thing is kind of common or pretty known, that Microsoft tried to simplify the technology so that it is easier for developers, right? So it has taken care, by the way, so you can feel good about it. Okay, so what it takes. So let's say we're taking example here about we are automating this, analyzing the sentiments from Twitter text. Okay, so that's the use case we are trying to automate here. How to go about it? Okay, you can think about that. I'm saying something about sentiment analysis. So of course, sentiment means one has to read through the text, understand it is good, bad, and give some kind of a scoring around it, right? So you got to get something like you guys might have heard about something called this language service, right? Part of the cognitive service suite of the services. Okay. So earlier the name was text analytics. Now they have they keep revising the name. So now it is called language service. Okay. So you got to have this language service. It is a language service that will let us basically read the text. Okay. That will come in the tutor. Let me jump directly to the logic apps, and then it will be easier for you guys to understand what I'm saying. Okay, how to create logic apps, though in the interest of time I have done, but I'll quickly show you. It's super easy. So what you can do is you can go to marketplace, okay, or you can directly search logic app. Here you go. It's pretty easy. Okay, click here. Right now you can see one, but you can very much create a new one as well. Okay. It is no different than any other resource that you create. Bunch of fields you got to add, and you're good. Okay, so this is something that it will let you. Once you do that, you will get something like this one. Okay, let's see how this looks like. Okay, so we'll see the designer, because that's what will be visually appealing to us. Okay, so this again, a plain vanilla will have nothing here. Here what I have done is I have, let's do one thing. I can take a few minutes because it will be easier for you. Then I will jump here. So I'll show you something that what we get by default. So you will feel confident that it's not that bad. Okay, let me spin real quick and then show you. So I'll put global AI bootcamp. Hopefully I'll get the name. It's not okay. Okay. So I'll take. I'm sure it's not available, so that's where I'll. Oh, I'm good. I'm lucky. Wow, I'm lucky. Okay, logic app. I'll not change reason for this one, so let's make it simple, and I'll make it